This episode is brought to you by Columbia Sportswear. It's snowing again, and that wind chill is killer. But you're not worried about that because you shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection. It's warmth perfected with tiny gold dots that reflect your body heat inside and protect you from the cold outside. No snow or chilly temps can stop you now. Go out anyway. Shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection now at Columbia.com/infinity.
The holidays are a time to feel and create joy. And what could be more joyous than the look on her face as she unwraps a stunning new jewelry piece from Blue Nile? How about getting 50% off your purchase? Blue Nile offers premium quality, priced below traditional retail. Their online experts are available 24/7 to answer any questions and make sure you've picked the perfect gift. For a limited time, you can get 50% off at BlueNile.com. That's 50% off at BlueNile.com.
Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another episode of the Shades of Blue Soccer Show. Cody Bradley, Robert Russert, and Thad Bell are here, spread across the world at the moment. We'll see if the internet holds up in this. Yeah, how are you doing? It's been so long. It's been too long.
Is the World Wide Web wonky over there?
Oh.
I kind of liked it.
No,
Awesome
I don't know.
alliteration.
But I think we're good.
Never mind how
over
we're
here.
doing. How's Cody doing?
I'm doing well. My new company is very exciting. So I've enjoyed all my coworkers. Estonia and Talon, quite impressive. It makes me think that if this random country is cool, that I'm like kind of panicking that I need to see every corner of the world, and I've not. And yeah, I've
There
been
you go,
having a lot
man.
of fun.
You're young. Go for it.
Go see as much as possible.
Now that I'm working remotely.
It is kind of the new thing, so yeah.
Sporting KC. That game was on at 5:30 in the morning, and I didn't go to bed until like a couple hours before that, so I missed that one, but I saw the highlights. It looked like second half they gave themselves plenty of chance to get a point out of that, right?
They gave themselves plenty of chances in the first half. And I know Peter kind of said they were fluky goals, and they were, but still, got to get points when you score.
Yeah, the goal at halftime, that is what the definition of what I would call a fluky goal. But not that changes anything.
Especially when they've given up. That's been the thing, is they've dominated every stat except the score. And in fairness, they've come from behind in 4 games to win and 1 game to tie. This is the first game they didn't get at least a point out of it.
2-1 away at Portland is not the worst result anyone has ever had.
It's also the first game that Portland lost after falling behind. I'm sorry, won after falling behind. So,
yeah, it's in a normal year, you would say it's not too bad to lose 2-1 in Portland, but they were struggling with health. They went down first. You know, all the stuff should have been actually Sporting's favor at that point.
I don't even remember any really strong chances that Portland had beyond early in the match. There was one that immediately made a save, but there weren't many.
Nope.
Sporting just isn't used to scoring first. Threw everything off. Threw off the game plan.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, they got to spot the other team at least a goal.
Yeah, I just finished rewatching actually before I got on here, and just that midfield was overrun number wise. It always seemed like Portland had more numbers, and every time they turned or Larry turned, he had space, and every time our guys turned, they didn't, or we didn't have numbers forward. So
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit there, because you say that we didn't have space. That we didn't have space because we were already in their end most of the time. I mean, 75% of the game was played in their end.
Well, so what I mean is, like, when Polito received the ball, they weren't giving him any space. Rarely did he have time to do a whole lot, but he did some things. But
No, I agree with that, but part of that is because they were already crunched into that end. It's not like nobody had any room to run at him because we're already in that end most of the time.
Yeah, for most of the time.
The work he put on that goal to get that assist was fantastic, though. Keeping that ball on the goal line like that was great. But I did see
Oh, yeah.
I saw he had at least one opportunity that you would have liked our expensive Mexican striker to score.
Yeah, I asked Peter if because I said that Polito's normally a little more clinical in front of goal, and was it maybe some of the wear and tear from coming back from international duty? And he basically said you got to give Portland credit for doing everything they could and having 3 or 4 guys around him, like Robert said, and um, that's being crammed in the box there.
We've got quick turnaround here. That's why we were trying to squeeze a podcast in, get Cody up at 6 a.m. in Estonia to do it, keep Bob up past his bedtime at 10 p.m. to do it.
I'm going to assume you're not drinking a beer.
We got this. We got this.
So Wednesday, Colorado, third place, Colorado. If they're on the top half of the table, you have to preface their name by the surprise voice. Third place, Colorado Rapids.
And fourth place, LA.
Well, third place sounds in second and third place sounds good, but they have 2 games in hand on us, so it's a bit misleading there. So
yes.
If we want to put any space between us and them, kind of be nice to win Wednesday night.
Yeah, if you go just by points per game, Sporting drops down to 5th place, I think.
Yeah,
fourth place or 5th place. I think 5th place. Yeah, so they're not as good as point wise as what we would hope, but they look good playing. They just aren't quite getting the results they need to get.
Well, if you want to talk about Colorado, they're known for getting outshot and outpossessed, but still pulling off points because they finish well. So, sounds familiar.
You just described every game between these two teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colorado has a 6-goal differential and only 8 games into it. So,
Thad, you mentioned playing well and looking good and maybe not getting the results. It seems like that's the opposite of the path Sporting often takes throughout a season. Normally at this point, we're looking at that they're going to win the quadruple. They're unstoppable, and then we wait for a second half of the season lull to come. Maybe it's working out in our favor. Mediocre results so far. They'll figure it out at the end.
Yeah, maybe. In fairness, they don't normally, like you said, they don't normally look. They've seem to be really good right at the beginning of the season, but they don't always look as good as they do possession wise. And they're doing that with Ilya back there, a 6 who's trying to still learn the position, all of that. Of course, we may not have him around for that much longer anyway.
Well, I mean, also the last 2 games, I mean, he's had Kinda and Polito out for the Austin game, which didn't help our momentum that we had built, what we had going. And then, just Portland, they're just good.
You think Kinda would have made a difference against Portland? Because, I mean,
I don't know if he would have or not. I'm just saying the Austin game, it's just the incontinuity in the last 2 games in a sense, especially the Austin game. But I don't know if Kinda would have made much of a difference because of the compactness. But still, it throws out the rhythm of the team when you don't have your regulars in there.
Of course.
Yeah, but I hate to use that as an excuse ever, because every team has to go through that right now.
Yeah, it's not an excuse. I'm just making a point that might be an impact as well.
It's Portland had players coming back from injury. They had tons of guys hurt still. And again, it's not a pretty style that they played, but they got the result. Of course, again, it was kind of fluky, that goal off of Fontas and Lindsay.
Well, goal off of Fontas, that looked like just kind of a bad play on Fontas' part. Lindsay, yes, that was just...
Yeah, and off of Fontas, I think it took a bad spin or something coming at him from that close. And you would hope maybe he would handle that better, but I think it was just a weird spin coming off or something and slid through, and then Lindsay trying to clear it or trying to be in the right spot to block the pass, and he did, but it just put it right back in front of the Colorado player to put it in. So
are you guys still on board with this center back pairing?
I think again it's the three. It's Busio, it's Fontes, it's Ilie that makes it work. It's that combination. In the Portland game, I think Ilie struggled a little bit defensively. I think Busio struggled a little defensively. So there's room for improvement.
Where's Izzy? Where's Izzy at?
That's the question. Is he ever going to be able to squeeze in here? If Busio gets sold, does that mean he's in and Ilie's back to 6? It'll be interesting.
Izzy is back in practice. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been back in practice for a couple weeks,
Right.
but he definitely didn't have the fitness to be out there for Peter's not going to want to start a center back that he can't play for at least 70 minutes. So yeah,
He's just been hurt. I was assuming that injury wasn't that serious, but yeah, so that he was out in was that the second or third game of the season?
Yeah, something like that. It's one of those injuries that always scares sporting fans because, he got hurt and he was coming back and then kind of re-hurt it or tweaked something else in the process. So it was kind of a continual. It may have just been he's trying to push himself to come back.
Yeah.
Don't really know because can't really talk to anybody as much as we used to. And actually that I don't want to sound bad. That's opening up a lot more now. It's a lot easier and a lot better now. It's just, so Izzy has been in practice at least the last couple of weeks when we've been out there and able to see a little bit of practice. So I would expect him to be available sometime in the near future.
Okay. Any other final thoughts here?
Interesting double headers this weekend with the women's team. Women play at 1 on Wednesday and then Sporting at 7:30, and then Saturday Sporting at 4:30 and the women at 7:30. So
okay.
it'd be me hauling butt from one stadium to the next on Saturday at least.
Okay. Now that we've got a time frame down, maybe we can.
When do you come back home?
End of the month.
So are you able to catch any Estonian soccer out there?
Actually,
I mean, I guess their leagues probably aren't playing right now.
No, there are. There was a game last Sunday I could have gone to, and then there's one on this Friday. Flora Talon is the name of the team. But anytime I've mentioned my coworkers here, they're all just they desperately tell me to not go to the game because I'll be disappointed and and that the Euros are on and that we should just go somewhere and watch the Euros. But no, I've been by the stadium. Looks, holds 15,000 people-ish, it looks like. I don't know. I would like to go see it. They got cool jerseys. They're green.
You should, man. I mean, that's probably one of the things I regret most is not going to see in some games when I was overseas a lot.
It's €5 to get into the game, so it's way cheap.
Do it.
They are FC Flora.
FC Flora Talon. I see some little kids wearing jerseys, so they've got a following here.
Hey, their last game they won 3-0, man.
Yeah, they're the most winningest team in the I'm not even gonna try to say it. Some crazy.
Yeah, Meisterliga.
Meisterliga. The language here is quite odd. It's like if a child, an English-speaking child, was trying to make up their own language.
Now I'm gonna have to look at some of that. But yeah, it's
just kind of some words are just slightly tweaked from English.
Yeah, there's a lot of languages that have just tweaked words like Tagalog, and a lot of Japanese words or English words that are just said with it. It's like you were doing the bad, almost racist Japanese accent, but that's actually how it is.
Yeah. No, they're not a warm people here. They're not big on talking to strangers and things like that. But all of my coworkers have been very nice, and if you have a connection to them and you're not a stranger, then they're very Midwesternly warm and want you to enjoy the city and things like that.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've traveled the world before in my life, but it is definitely, like I said, it's just seeing that this random country is as fun and cool and interesting as it is. It makes me have an existential crisis to oh shit, I need to go see so much more of this world.
You do, man. You need to travel to a lot of different places, and you'll get appreciation for the world, but you'll also probably get an appreciation for home at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. It should be required that Americans should just get at some point in their life a $2,000 budget to go travel somewhere else in the world. And I think we would have a little more empathy maybe in this country. It's just crazy. Like like you go anywhere in the world and you just see like people are the same. Like you just see like a mom dealing with an unruly child and like just two young lovers and things like that. It's like seriously, everyone is exactly the same everywhere you go.
Cody
Eh,
throwing out the philosophy.
some places play by some very different rules, though. So,
That is very true.
and
But
some of those things you just mentioned, you wouldn't see in all countries. But yeah, in general, I will agree. Though people
a
are
mother a
essentially the
mother
same.
a mother dealing with an unruly child, you could go see that in North Korea, you could go see it in Syria,
At the Bradley household when Cody was growing up.
still to this day probably. Okay, yeah.
No, you take care of yourself and we'll talk soon.
Yep.
Yeah, all right guys, talk soon. See ya.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.